I don't know why you're here, but I am glad you are because tonight, oh my God, there's so much to talk about with Big Brother 25. We have a whole week to recap, which usually in the past for this season specifically has been me sitting up here just like, and they went back and forth on the vote, yet they did the thing where they voted out the person unanimously the entire time, and that was about the week recap that we had. And it would be like halfway predictable. This week, I don't even know what to dive into first. I know we just had an 8-1 vote for Izzy to go out, but oh my God, the way that we got there was unlike a lot of weeks that I've seen in Big Brother history, maybe in the entirety of the series, but then maybe recency bias. I may be dramatic here, but oh my God, what a fun week regardless. And I am so excited to talk about it. From Cam's crazy HOH reign to an almost blindside to a fight that happened on the feeds today to all of the announcements that Julie made tonight, to the wall competition that is going on as we speak that we'll be checking in on intermittently. So much to dig into, and I'm so excited to dig into it with all of y'all. I'm not on this venture alone, though. My name is Barrett, by the way. Probably should say that. But joining me, as always, is my lovely pig and pipsqueak, Zack Perez in Nick City.
So who is who?
I will not give out that information on who is who.
I'm neither of those things, but thanks very much.
No, I love you both. The chat is also open, by the way. Everyone that is here live, type away your thoughts on this week, the episode, everything that you're feeling at the moment. But Zack, I'm going to go to you first. I need to get your thoughts on the week, and Nick, I'm going to ask you the same exact thing because I just want to gather where we're at right now after this eviction, after the crazy HOH reign, after everything which we have you this week, Josh Duhamel included. How did you feel?
Oh, sorry. They're really worrying me right now. Because for those of you who aren't seeing, and as Barrett was saying, the wall is going on right now. So it's going on live. So we are very in tune. That's what Nick's looking at right now. And that's what I'm looking at.
Oh my God, Jack just fell.
Okay, so before I guess
okay,
for the people that already know who the HOH is that are watching this in the future, I'm so sorry. Feel free to skip ahead.
But, okay, but anyway, back to me. So this week, I really thought, we all really thought, we were hoping that there would be something different. We were hoping that Cameron would actually have a mind for himself, and then the feeds came on. And we were, lack for better words, about to quit the game because, man, did he have us flabbergasted. He bamboozled us. We were hoodwinked because he not only lied to the house guests, he lied to the feedsters. And up until we saw those noms, he did not say anything. And it gave us a very interesting week. I was very entertained. The feeds were really great today, especially. And it was just an all-out good week just because it was he truly took the moniker, the moniker of expect the unexpected. And I mean, what can I say? Shout out to Cameron. This is probably the first time that we've said it all season. But he finally had a brain for himself. Unfortunately, he is still trusting someone that he shouldn't be trusting. I don't know why, but it was a good week.
Okay. Yeah, Nick, your boy Cameron won HOH, and your boy Jared won the veto competition this week. So, which is a reversal of last week. But how did you feel this week being bamboozled by Cameron in the nominations, and then just the fallout from that, the post veto competition flip, and then of course the eviction tonight? Wrap it all up for us. How did you feel before we get the discussion started?
Okay, well, first of all, you calling them my boys has me feeling some type of way because I don't claim either of them.
Okay.
Just for clarification purposes. Second of all, this week has been amazing, in my opinion. It has been Team TV, Team Fun Feeds, Team Old School Big Brother. Like, this has just, like, been probably the best week of Big Brother we've had in, like, a long time. I can't even think of a week that I've enjoyed as much as I have this week. Like everything we've
Whenever
had.
Amira went
Excuse
home.
me.
When Amira went home.
That was nowhere near as good as this week. So
Okay.
That was a really good week.
I
I also agree, though. Not as good as this week.
yeah, this week has no. This week makes that week look like nothing in my opinion. The drama, the way that the everything like fell into place, like just everything was so good. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I hate to undermine your point, but Matt just fell in the HOH competition.
my
I'll catch everyone up on the HOH comp for those who don't really have feeds or just want to
FBJ
know.
is already home.
So,
Stop!
Kurt, the favorites going into this competition by far were America, Mimi, and Cory. It just by stature alone in the history with this competition, and they were among like the first few that went out of the entire competition after Suri and Felicia. And so now we are left to three people. Yep, three people: Bowie, Jane, Jared, and Blue. So it is now Bowie Jane versus Blue and Jared, and I could not be more upset right now. I hate picking sides in a Big Brother season like this, but oh my god, this is such an easy side to pick. And I really don't hate picking sides, but at the same time, these sides that are forming right now, I would rather it be Suri than Jared or Blue. I get that like the same outcome would happen, but just having it be Jared or Blue, I cannot. I can't do this. I don't even know if Blue knows what's going on in the game. Did you see her go happily evict Izzy tonight? Where the hell did that come from? Why did she do that? Why did she say, I happily vote to evict Izzy? She didn't even know Izzy was going home until like 12 hours ago. Whatever.
I didn't even know
digress.
she knew Izzy was. We'll get there, but I was lost in the sauce. I was like, "What are you doing, Blue?"
Yeah, that is probably not the point we need to get into right now. But the fact that she is in the HOH competition, I felt like it needed to be said before we dive into anything else. So we'll try to keep this HOH comp in the back of our minds right now as we continue our discussion. But I do think we need to talk about. I want to talk about tonight's events first, or just today's events in general, if that's okay with y'all, and we'll kind of work from there. I know we have like Cameron's bamboozling of the nominations to talk about. We have yesterday's 2-hour episode to talk about, which is less important, I think. And then we have, of course, what I want to talk about right now, which is the eviction of Izzy. Izzy did go home tonight on a vote of 8-1, sitting against Felicia. On her way out, had some choice words for both Cameron and Cory, who she so eloquently called Pig and Pipsqueak, and that they would see her very soon, which means something now because we actually have 2 more evictions before jury. So if we have a Jared or Blue HOH, we might be seeing a Cameron or Cory eviction this week, depending on how that shakes out. And Izzy's words will ring true. But I do want to talk a lot about Izzy, since she is the one that fell at the behest of the Fields family. She was the martyr this week. And I just want to know your thoughts on Izzy leaving this game, because I am so disappointed that she is gone. But at the benefit of such a great week, I think it's okay. But I just want to ask both of you about her and her as a pre-juror. And do you think she's one of the more loved pre-jurors that we've seen in recent Big Brother? Zach.
Okay, calm down. No, she is not.
I disagree.
She is not. She is not a Caitlyn. She is not a.
I like her so much more than Caitlyn.
She is not. She's not.
Get out.
She is not a Rachel. She
like her more
is
than Rachel too.
Come on. She is not a. She's not a Kimmy. No. She. In order for you to actually be a good pre-juror, at least have the decency to play your own game. She did not do that.
She did play her family's game.
The family that she didn't even meet until now. Until what? A few days or a month ago?
Family, Zach. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, Dominic Toretto, calm down. No, she's over here talking about family, acting like she's in Fast X. No, this is Big Brother 25. I have mixed feelings about her because on one hand, I liked her energy, but her direction and how she took her game was just not great. I didn't understand her disdained really, really bad hatred towards Cameron. Don't get me wrong, I don't like Cameron, but on the same hands, you have to be able to navigate socially in the game and actually, act like you like people and make them think that you like them. And Cameron knew from the get-go that, oh, this girl doesn't like me.
In her defense, she didn't hate Cameron. She just hated that she couldn't hate him.
That is true.
Okay.
The key difference. But I see your point. Izzy was not a person to play necessarily their own game. And oh my God, who just won?
I don't
Who just
know. I
won?
just looked up and everyone's on the floor.
I think it's Jared. I think Jared won.
Okay, blues down. Blues down. No! No!
I know this is a terrible moment, but Zach gave me probably one of my favorite podcast moments ever just now. I've never... Can someone please clip that out of what Zach just did and send it to me immediately? I hate this season now. Jameson, you're already ahead of the game.
Oh my God, no.
I just want to go line it up in real time with the actual live feed. I hate this. We are now switching gears so hard. I don't care about Izzy anymore.
Sucks.
This season's the worst. I hated last week. Probably one of the worst weeks I've ever seen in Big Brother history. Wow. The victory is short-lived. If you wanted a split house, we sure got one. If you love power shifts, you really got one now. Wow. Yeah. That competition not only did not even last an hour, but we just got the worst winner possible. That is okay.
Wow.
Well, who's Jared gonna nominate, you think? You think it's gonna be old pig and
This is
pipsqueak?
so unhinged.
Since we're still slightly on the Izzy train, I'll go ahead and show a video of who Jared's going to nominate and Izzy's exit towards them whenever I find that clip that I definitely saved. Okay. Wow. This, everyone collect their thoughts, I guess, on this. We can see with them eventually.
Oh no, I'll be seeing you soon, pig.
Class act.
All right. Well, Cameron's about to go on the block again. That's really fun for him. And do we think Cory's going to sit next to Cameron?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Maybe there was hope for him. I know Jared and Cory were once tight before today, I should say. So, wow, we're really getting bit by making fun of Jared for not winning any competitions, and now he has won 3 in just like the 2 weeks since I've made that last comment. So,
Asterisk. Yes. I do know. Matt won that competition. Okay. You cannot argue with that with me at all. Matt won that competition. Because of the single fact that Jared got out, what, 4th? 3rd? Like, no, Jared, you're not a legend.
He got 3rd place in the veto comp but won, technically, if you want to look at it that way. Yes.
No, he did it. He won the veto. Okay, we can say that, but he did not win the competition. No, Matt just chose. I don't understand why he chose and thought that he was going to hang out with Josh Duhamel for the whole week.
That is a funny way to lose a veto competition, though, is to getting tricked into think you're going to hang out with a celebrity. Very unique way to end a veto competition. You gotta give him that.
Yes, but still,
here's the thing, Zach. I agree with you. I just feel the need to pick an argument with you for no reason.
Yeah. Okay, but
As you should.
yeah. I understand that he won the veto, but on the other hand, he's not a legend. Calm down. Okay.
No,
He's not.
he is not. He's not a legend, but he is now the HOH in charge of a week that he just lost all of the power structure in the house, but it now has gained it back. And Jameson is going to send me the clip of your reaction to it, Zach, and I cannot wait to watch it. But we can do all our Jared theories in a bit. I do think we need to fight through and actually talk about this week before we really get into the Jared stuff, because I know we're going to get distracted and they're about to go in the house and they're going to open up the feeds and it's going to be in terms of what we're going to see this week. Okay. But then that wild, we've gone from a Cameron HOH to a Jared HOH to a Cameron HOH to a Jared HOH. Weird season we got going.
And honestly, I can see Cameron winning the veto. And guess who's going to be the replacement nom?
America.
And I don't want that.
Well, actually, it could just be Cory and America on the block together as well. I don't know. We can't discount America being immediately put on the block.
I don't want that to happen. America is what made this week.
I hate this. Like, I'm so
can't ever
sad.
I know. I was so excited to talk about this week and this episode in particular and everything that kind of went around it. And now I'm just like, I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
My excitement just died.
Yeah, it's like everything that I wanted to talk about became obsolete because Jared hung onto that wall way longer than I thought he was going to. Actually, 45 minutes is actually not that long at all when you really think about it.
It's the same. No, it's the same length as Taylor's last year.
Was it really?
Taylor's lasted like 45, 49 or something. It was pretty short because it was down to her and Kyle decided to give it to her.
Man. Okay. Whew. All right. Think, Barrett. Think. Tonight's episode. Okay, Nick, I never got your thoughts about Izzy, so we'll regroup a little bit. What were your thoughts on Izzy this year, and how do you feel about her going home tonight?
So I think that Izzy, I wasn't a fan of Izzy, I'm not gonna lie, but I think that Izzy is me if I were to go on the show, and like someone that I am obsessed with was in the house, and that's me. And it's funny because in my group chat this morning, there was this tweet earlier that was posted, and it was like, Suri did exactly what every person on Stan Twitter would do, and we were all saying who we would sacrifice ourselves for if we were in that house. And I thought it was a very fun game to play this morning. But she's literally what all of us would do if like our Big Brother or Survivor idol was in the house. And don't lie, Zach, because yes, you would. Because I know if you saw Johnny Bananas up in the Big Brother house, you would be right up there with
Okay,
him,
there is the difference between playing or being in alliance with the person that you idolize versus giving up your game and not willing to unleash a secret that would have saved her.
No, it wouldn't have though this week. Against Felicia.
No.
I'm talking about leading. Well, I guess
she wasn't
even the veto
until yesterday. So
well, I'm just saying in general. Okay, this. I think if she would have unleashed it before the veto. If she would have unleashed no, listen. If she would have done it before the veto,
I think that Jared won.
No, Matt and Jag were before Jared. Either one of them could have took the veto.
Okay, I see your point. That's better. Yeah, I mean, I think if nothing else, I think Cameron playing this week that he was going to nominate Jag and Blue and then immediately doing the opposite kind of helped stifle that possibility. I think a really fun what if scenario would be like if Izzy knew that she was going to go on the block next to Felicia well beforehand, if she would have like at least thought about like, if I spill this though, then I avoid the block altogether. I could see why she held on to it though, leading up to at least the nomination ceremony. I can halfway see where if she tells people, then maybe we don't have Jared as the veto winner because then Cerie's got to go. That I can see that point, but at the same
Yes.
time, I think Izzy was also so hard banking on Felicia just being the target this week and being the one to go that she didn't want that. But I mean, okay, Zach. Now the more that I talk
That
about
is a
this,
valid point.
But yeah,
you're so right, Zach. You're so right. Why do we
Zach,
not
you're
listen to
always
you
right,
all the
you
time?
know, like.
but okay, who is going off of what Nick said though? I guess were you asking us a question too? Who would we sacrifice? Like, not
I was
sacrifice.
gonna ask you guys who you guys would sacrifice yourself. Well, like, who would be your Cerie to your Izzy if you were on Big Brother one day?
Oh,
And it has to be a Big Brother player.
No,
Or
because Cerie's
yeah, it
from
could be anyone.
Survivor, so like
Yeah.
it could be anybody.
that is so hard. I never really thought. I don't think I would sacrifice for anyone, to be honest. Like, I don't see, like, I don't know. I like this game too much, and I know that would just be a terrible thing to watch as a viewer. So, like, I don't know why anyone would ever want to do that. But I mean, Izzy exists.
Like, you can't help it.
I mean, I would definitely really, really want to play with like Janelle.
That was
Maybe
so
maybe if I got in between like Kaser being on jury or something, maybe then I would be like, oh, Kaser's got one last ride in him. Let's get him at least to jury. I don't know. That'd be like the only thing that I could think of.
I would be okay. I would be Kaser. Oh my gosh, what's her name? It's on the tip.
You don't even know her name, and you're gonna sacrifice yourself for her.
Calm down. I was Candace. I would work with Kansas.
Oh, I said Vanessa. That
Of
was
course.
What? She had her success.
Yeah, it was her fault. It was her own fault. She lost the trivia.
Lost. So I would help her win. Like, are you kidding me?
Hot take. I still think she would have lost.
Hot take. You're wrong.
I'm just kidding. Barrett's would probably be like Dan Giesling or something.
No, absolutely not. That guy nearly won twice. You think I'm gonna ever sacrifice? When you've had that, that's the thing. Like, it would have to be a player that did not have success already, like on Big Brother, that's getting a second chance of some sort. It could not be someone that's had success. Like,
well, then that knocks out all three of ours.
Yeah,
Janelle made it to the end twice, and Vanessa made it to the end and just lost because of her own accord.
I guess I'll stick with Kaser then. Is the only person that I could ever see me sacrificing anything for.
Vanessa lost because Johnny Mac wanted to be random and funny. That's why Vanessa lost BB17, and I will stand by that.
Okay.
Holly? No, I'm just kidding.
Please stop. Anyways.
Could be Holly. All right, let's talk about the flip itself now. So this is going to take a lot of time. Actually, no. Jameson sent me the clip. I'm going to play the clip.
Oh my God. I want to talk about something about the veto comp too, before we go into the actual flip, because I want to know if you guys noticed something, but like, I don't know if you want to play the clip first, Barrett.
I think it's loading now. Let's see if it'll work. No, not yet. That's definitely not a video.
I look so good.
Yeah, I think it's gonna load for a second before I can actually put it up.
So
go ahead, Nick.
Okay, so I don't know if I was like half paying attention to the episode or not. I was, because it was 2 hours long for no damn reason. But
we had to make room for all the punishments.
and we had to watch them every single person spin around to the full thing. Like, I was like, really, this is a lot. But anyways, when Felicia like passed out on during the thing, they like what is so funny?
Are you all right?
I almost forgot about
what is going on.
Zach, explain what did I miss something? Did something happen while you were talking, Nick? Because I'm a little worried now.
No, I almost forgot about that happening.
When Felicia passed out?
Did she pass out?
I don't know what happened. That's what I'm trying to talk about.
The Paloma-verse has entered Zack right now.
Yes. I don't know what is going on with him right now, but I'm gonna try to ignore it.
It's been a rough time, I think, for Zack.
He's having a day, apparently.
Yeah.
But during that whole thing, was that why she was eliminated? Because like she had more points than Jag, and Jag stayed or something. I was like, my group chat was talking about it. They were like, Jag had 17, and they were like, oh, Felicia, you need this many more to stay in the game, and Jag only had 17, and I was like very confused when I looked back because I was like, but Jag has 17. Why does she need 63 to stay in the game? Like,
You know what? That's a good point.
and then she passed out, and I was like, did they just like weirdly edit that? Like I was so confused. Like,
Well, she passed out, so she must be done. That must mean she gave up, right?
I was so confused. I was like, what just happened? And like I said, I was half paying attention, so I don't know if any of you guys noticed anything, but I thought it was very weird.
No, I
Like,
didn't even
no.
remember that happened. I mean, apparently Zack also forgot that happened. I don't know what.
Because I was just like,
you
oh
just
my
made
god.
Zack's night by reminding him.
Oh yeah, because I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, Jasmine.
She was not Jasmine, but okay.
Well, it was like the same thing where they like passed out for like no reason.
I forgot Jasmine passed out, actually.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Okay, so Jameson, the video wasn't working for me, so I'm gonna go to the Facebook group because you also posted it there, where it will actually work. I don't know why it was being mean.
Why you gotta be so?
But Zack, that was weird. I don't like.
Yeah,
I
I don't
like
know
you
what
laughing out of nowhere.
Like overcame you. Like I don't know if there was like a ghost in your room or something, but that was something.
Okay. I promise this clip exists, and I will share it.
I believe that we witnessed it. So
We were also there. Yeah.
oh boy.
And oh my God, who just won?
I don't
Who just
know. I
won?
just looked up and everyone's on the floor.
I think it's Jared. I think Jared won.
Okay, blues down, blues down. No! No!
Have you changed your emotions since then, Zack?
Nope. I'm still pissed.
Whew, man,
Funny. Oh my god, that's good.
you're just saying how we all feel, Zack. I mean, no one can discredit you for that. For speaking your mind.
Preach.
All right. What were we? I don't even know what we were talking about. Okay, so Zack forgot Felicia
We were
passed
talking
out.
about the veto.
We were talking about the veto.
And then we were going to talk about the flip, but I wanted
Yes.
to talk
Yeah.
about the veto before the flip.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Jameson, for clipping that.
Yeah, we finally got our 2-hour episode of the veto and stuff. Josh Duhamel came. Matt didn't understand that Josh Duhamel was not going to stay for the entire week, which had its own issues with the outcome of the veto. Just baffles me.
Let's stay on Matt, okay? I talked about it earlier, but Matt, come on, like, I mean, even think about it for a second, like, oh, someone's gonna stay into the Big Brother house from the outside world from a week. Oh yeah, that's definitely something they'd do. Someone who's been exposed to everything and knows. Apparently, he knows a lot about Big Brother. Unless he was debriefed or something, or at least he's been paying attention to the season because he was calling Felicia Mama Fee. I don't know, but Matt, come on. I don't know.
I disagree. I don't think Matt knows a lot about the game.
No, I was talking about Josh.
Oh, Josh. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, that's
it just
interesting.
yeah, because it seemed like Josh was like I mean, at least like knew that and stuff, and like at least
I mean,
I don't know.
I'm sure they give it some sort of a debrief to the people that are coming
Oh,
on.
and this woman's called Mama Fee. Yeah.
I would not ever sit there and say that Josh Duhamel knows anything about this game and how it works. But I did love the relationship between Matt and Josh this week. I thought it was very endearing. I thought if there was any like positive to take from Matt just completely not wanting the veto. And I really do wonder how Jag felt though after that comp, being like, I could have taken the veto and nothing would have happened. Like I could have just had it and that would have been mine to use as necessary, because Matt was not going to take it from him. Which I personally think the veto is always better than $5,000. How we always encounter this weird dilemma, which I get why Jack did it. He didn't think that there was ever a chance he could end up with the veto, and that Matt was gonna take the punishment over the veto. These house guests, man, they're crazy. But yeah, Matt not so knowledgeable in the game. Really funny story though he told this week about being on the plane next to Shelly from BB13. I don't know if y'all got to hear any of that.
I did not.
Oh, I think I saw tweets about it.
Yeah, he was on the plane next to her, like when he flew to LA.
Yeah.
And they talked about Big
Yeah.
Brother, and he thought it was like a test or something because she was like, "Oh, I was on Big Brother," and he was because he just didn't talk about being on the show, and that's like, I don't know, that's so weird to me that happened, but it was. I
don't know why.
Story.
I just imagine her being like a grandma and like being, "Oh, I was on Big Brother once."
Well, I mean, Shelly was on like 12 years ago now, so.
Ew, don't say that.
It's a lifetime
I watched
ago.
the season live.
Yeah. Good one to watch live.
Shelly Moore for All Stars 3.
That's right. I guess that makes sense though. She's from Louisiana for them being.
I don't know where you bought this
Louisiana
ring.
to LA. All right, we have a flip to talk about. How we've gone 31 minutes without talking about the flip or
Well,
the
to be
blindside
fair,
noms.
we just had something. I guess the
know.
flip is kind of irrelevant now, unfortunately. But yeah, continue, Barrett.
We're gonna talk about the flip because it still happened and it was still a great week. So the veto happens. We have Jared coming out victorious. We have Cameron laying out his entire plan to nominate Sari at the end of Wednesday's episode. Obviously, that is not what Jared is ever going to intend to do, and so the nominations stay the same, with the intent on Felicia going. But at the beginning of this kayak punishment for Sari, I think is going to be what is what looked like for a little bit was going to be the detriment to her own game, because her son cannot play the game, and 48 hours of her not guiding him on how to play the game nearly just ruined their game entirely, to the point where they could have easily been nominated next to each other had someone else won HOH tonight. But Sari is pretty much having to pick up the pieces that Jared laid out, which was causing distrust after distrust with people, needlessly telling Cam information that he didn't need to tell him. And then obviously everyone else kind of unfolding that Jared was not on their side in the slightest, and that Jared's actually working with Sari, which we got the first inkling of when Jared had his whole Jag knows about the power, and I didn't realize he knew about the power. And he knows that Sari knows about the power, and now he knows that I know about the power because Sari told me. And so now I know that Jared and Sari are working together. That whole debacle after Matt saved him with the invincibility power. So that's where Jared's game was kind of at leading into today. And of course, we had the entire flip behind it, which we saw lay out in tonight's episode. We have America heavily, the most involved with getting this flip on board, because she was the only one who like wouldn't take no for an answer, it seemed like this week, which I really loved, especially with all of just the talk about America that happens between everyone else. So I know people were worried that Cameron was going to be painted more as the mastermind behind this flip, or and like the edit, but it really was America who they gave a lot of that credit to. And obviously there was a lot of people working together. You had Cameron, who really got the ball rolling. Of course, we're not going to discredit him as much as we like to hate on Cameron. This is a great Cameron week in terms of his character on the show. Like, this is when he thrives. It's the part when he's not in power and he's saying weird analogies to other house guests, and I'm like, oh, okay. But when he's up in the HOH room lying to people, lying to literally everybody, and then nominating 2 people out of the blue,
You're like my daughter.
yeah, that's not the Cam we want. We want the Cam that's gonna sit there and be like,
No.
let's not BS, okay? I'm gonna stare at you awkwardly and not say anything until you give me a little bit of information, which I think is a really fun version of Cam. Not my favorite house guest by far, but I think a great week for Cam, just as a game player. I mean, it's going to be to his own detriment in a day or two, but I thought a great week for him just to watch him play. And then obviously America doing the most, Cory doing the most, realizing that Sari values Matt over him was such a fun realization to see unfold. And then watch everybody flip from there. And that all leads into all this distrust in Jared, especially distrust in Sari, led into not only the vote flipping, but this argument between Jared and Cory today. Because as we saw the vote flip get laid out last night in tonight's episode between Jag, Matt, maybe getting thrown into the mix, and of course Cory and America as well, you have today Jared decided to come up with this lie, and anyone correct me if I'm wrong, because today was hectic and if there's a lot of details involved, but Jared comes up with this lie that after, feeling the room, Sari's a little sus, of course, because no one's looking at Izzy. She's watching the HOH feed last night and seeing Matt just not look at her at all and be like, oh, Izzy's definitely going home tomorrow, which is like, God, Sari can pick up everybody. It took everyone else 40 days to pick up on stuff. It takes Sari like 5 seconds to pick up on certain things. Jack still hasn't put any pieces together, and neither is Blue, I'm pretty sure. And so they understand the energy that has changed. It's pretty clear down there. And so Jared decides to come up with this lie that Jag told him that they're flipping the vote, which was a lie. We didn't know it at first that it was a lie, but Jared later confirmed that it was. And of course, everyone kind of acted like it wasn't true at first, but then in silent, America and Cory were like, God, Jag might be the worst Big Brother player of all time. Meanwhile, Jag was like taking a nap the entire day.
I mean, he still probably is.
Well, okay. Besides that fact, they were so ready for Jag to spill everything. They're just like, God, of course Jag would do something like this. How did we not anticipate Jag would tell everyone? And it was not true. Jared said that he completely lied about that. But here's the thing. All it took was them to talk to Jag to figure out that Jared was lying. And it happened in the best possible spot, which is all of them in a room with Jared and Cory already arguing, where they spilled all of this information. And so Jared and Cory laid it all out on the table, like the issues that they've been having, the things that Cory's been hearing. And it got pretty intense. It classifies as our first Big Brother fight of the season, I think. Which I don't know if any of us predicted Cory and Jared. I think some of us said Cory and Heisem for the first fight. But
Yes.
now we have Jared subconsciously hating Cory as well.
Who?
Who?
Yeah.
You know who. You know exactly who. And now I'm going to play some clips from that fight. I wasn't going to leave it to y'all to narrate it for me.
Well,
So
I could have been Cory and Zack could have been Jared, but
okay.
5 people told me. 5 people think that you threw competitions. 5. Who are the 5? Who are the 5, Jared?
All right, I'm gonna play some clips. I liked a lot of the segments, and because we're not gonna go back and watch any of this fight in full because it took forever. But I'll just play some of the clips that I got. I don't know if a lot of it is Jared getting heated, but I do have a lot of Cory getting heated back at Jared.
I'm not doing it back and forth no more with y'all.
I mean,
I'm not
unless I
lying
didn't
no
know
more.
about it.
I'm not playing these games.
He's not gonna lie anymore. That's just kind of his first things. And also, can I just say that Bowie Jane being in this room during all of this fighting was probably the best detail that could have ever happened, because she is getting information that is like a foreign language to her, probably. Like she has not been involved.
There are other
any of this.
alliances.
Also,
Bowie City.
Speaking of Bowie Jane, this is the DR count for last night. In the 2-hour episode, Bowie did not get one DR.
that's very accurate.
Okay. Oh, here's the Jag is the worst player in Big Brother history.
Tell him, because he's just gonna, if he knows he's in that much danger, he's gonna gun for this HOH and he's gonna stay on that wall for 2 fucking years. if he thinks he's safe on all his
Dad?
bases. Yes.
You'll fall asleep. It's fine.
Yeah, but that's not. I mean, it's indifferent.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
He's the worst fucking player in Big Brother history.
That's so annoying.
Uncalled for. Come on.
Oh, there's me.
Okay, here's Cory and Jared.
Heard it and still in fucking silence.
And yes,
came
also
straight
you.
to you to make sure that you knew that it was going out. And you're still trying to call me a liar.
Jared, I have you telling me one thing, and then I have 7 people telling me the other thing.
Cory.
That's the truth of it.
Cory,
That's the reality.
That's fine, right?
Do you understand why it's hard for me to believe that? Especially when I'm putting all these fucking pieces together, and everyone's coming to me with their Jared stories about how Jared fucking misled them. And then you come in here to have the fucking show to everybody and say, look, guys, Cory's lying. I'm telling the truth because I'm talking in a loud fucking volume and I'm not letting him say a fucking word. It's bullshit, Jared. We've all been talking. We've been comparing notes. You've been at the center of this entire fucking game. And I thought for a while that was good for me because you were my boy. Then I hear you're trying to fucking pit me and America against each other. I don't give a shit about America at that point. It was me and you. And I hear all this shit. And what am I supposed to think? I'm supposed to walk out of this being like, oh, wait, I got to just trust Jared, not the fucking 8 people who are coming to me saying Jared's chirping in their ear.
Right.
That's why I believe what I believe.
Right.
Am I wrong? Fucking possibly. It's what the fuck do you want me to do? That's what happened.
Right.
I'm not fucking playing this surreptitious game trying to fucking get you out of here because, oh, this guy's my closest ally, now it's time for him to go. I'm trying to go after the person who is telling me over and over again the same fucking lies, and then everyone is corroborating those fucking lies to me.
Okay, we're just watching the feeds at this point. But I really want to show Cory getting heated because that's when I really was just like, I did the, okay, now I gotta stay invested.
To lean
I'm not
in,
going
like,
anywhere.
yeah.
Because it
Yes.
was, for a good 15 minutes before that, it was all Jared, it seemed like, with that same level of enthusiasm, if we want to call it that, from Jared and Cory.
And then the
but-
freaking Jared policing his tone. He's like, "Oh no, calm down. I've calmed down. Now you calm down. Now 5 people have told me." Like, bro, what? Come on.
I'm gonna go ahead and skip to Scoot is right. Cory is so screwed. Oh, absolutely. we're all here for the mess that is gonna be this week now. Timo said a great thing too. Why so sad? I thought people didn't like steamrolls, Blue, Jared, Suri, or in the minority, so people should be cheering, right?
But
I think there's a plus and minus to it. We love
Yeah.
the mess, Timo. I swear to you that. But it's really Jared. it's Jared to me that I'm like, I cannot get behind him at all. His side is one thing. I think Suri's great. I think Felicia's great. Jared, on the other hand, if he was not in this side, I would be so much for a power shift week to week. But him having any sort of power, much less winning a competition, just really grinds my gears watching him. And there's always one of those players each season that gets to me that way. Jared's definitely that player, and he's a lot of people's players.
We got 2 of them this season, him and Cameron, and they both keep friggin' winning everything. And it's like, I just want both of them. I want both of them out. Like, honestly, like.
and yeah, going off of what Barrett said, like, it's different because it just basically makes this past week, this flip kind of like, oh, he's lost the power structure. So like, the game is really malleable in a sense to where it's for anyone's taking to try to build up a structure. And now we're back in, oh, Jared's HOH. So I guess it's back to status quo, which is back to what we didn't want, and the same people and the same thing minus Cory in a sense, like getting back into the structure. And it's like, and I'm picturing it now. The feeds come on. There's a group of people in the HOH room, not Cory in America, and they're just like, or Jared and Suri are doing damage control with everyone and trying to explain what went down and stuff, and how it's cool. Izzy's gone. We need to move forward. Fifi, we got you. This, that, and everything. And it's just gonna be.
Yeah.
And also, I want to point out that just because Cory's in a showmance doesn't mean his game is over. Let's not forget, apparently Blue forgot too. there is another showmance in the house. I do not like that at all. I don't know who he's talking to. There's only one showmance I see, and that's Cory in America. Like, girl, come on. We all know where the condoms went. Don't play dumb.
Paraphylactics.
Whatever. Safety socks.
Yeah, I see what you mean, Timo, about Jared's structure being demolished in a sense. I think the worst fears, though, is for that structure to not be completely demolished. And because you have people like Matt who could easily jump back with Suri in some sense, and you people have Mimi who didn't really pick a side to begin with necessarily going into this. Yeah, Shy Boy Jared in his comments. Yeah, that's also always tough to get behind. So I think another fear would just be that those people that quote unquote left for this 6-person power alliance will just jump right back in or make excuses. And then suddenly it becomes Cory in America and Cameron versus the rest of the house, which is very much not in the majority anymore.
If I was in the house, I would jump back on that. If I wasn't Cory, obviously he's like, screwed. Like, I would jump back on that ship because just to save my own ass. If I was Mimi, of course I'm going to go where the power is. Like, it'd be dumb not for them to do it. I'm not saying it's a bad game by any means, but entertainment-wise and feeds-wise, it's sort of like, well, we know it's going to happen. We know he's going to go home.
Yeah. And it's I do think this week has the potential to also be very, very interesting. And so, because I mean, there has not been one week where the vote has been solidified very early on. So I'm interested to see where Suri and Jared and Felicia and whoever are in the remaining pieces of all of these alliances that don't exist really anymore, where they come together and decide who they want to take out. Because I assume they're going to want Cameron more than anyone. But at the same time, who knows where their heads are going to be.
Cameron's the freaking veto king, so
yeah, it's just like if you're gonna do Cameron, you're gonna have to backdoor him. So if you're gonna backdoor him, you just put up Cory in America straight up. Do you throw anybody else up there like Jag? I mean, you're not gonna throw Matt up there. Don't see they could throw up Bowie Jane as a random pawn as well. Like, I don't know. It's either way. It's just like
I can't believe she hasn't touched the block yet.
It's crazy. She hasn't touched the DR either.
What if we're living in a world where Bowie Jane wins?
We can. She's still in the game. I mean, I feel like crazier people have won.
Yeah.
Like,
and we haven't talked about this, a smaller jury. There's more of a chance for a flip.
yeah.
Yeah, that'll definitely be something we have to talk
All it
about.
takes is 4 votes to win this season.
That is very much true.
Oh, Paul just entered the chat. He's like, 4 votes.
Just 4, you say? Huh?
Yeah.
You know where I can get one of those votes? 2 years in a row? I don't know. Okay, so we have the flip happening. We have Izzy kind of figuring out where she messed up. One thing that they didn't show in tonight's episode was Izzy telling Cory, like, telling America, it's just like, I know what you've been saying, kind of like, it's okay, like, I don't, and in my head I was already like, okay, I don't have America's vote, that's fine. And she's also telling Cory, like, America's gotta go, you gotta stop sleeping in the same bed with her, all this stuff. And then when she told Suri that she said that was like Suri's first inkling of like, oh my god, I think they're gonna vote you out, Izzy. I think you shouldn't have said that, which they didn't really show at all on tonight's episode, which I thought would have been really fun if we kind of just saw Izzy just like, oh crap, what have I done? Which, I mean, she kind of alluded to tonight when she was out there with Julie, just like knowing when she messed up specifically the other night. And so I kind of wish they would have shown that though. But so we have all that play out. We have the fight today play out, which one clip I haven't shown yet is Jared being called out on the lie that he made about Jag ratting out the vote flip to try to get more information. And so here's him kind of getting confronted about that particular point.
Wanted the truth in this because I'm curious.
Yeah.
I heard that earlier last night you went to Jared. I know Matt and I were talking about this all day. You went to Jared and said, me and Matt are voting to keep Felicia. Did that happen?
Did I ever do that?
No, you never said that to me.
I never did.
Never said it to me.
Didn't Jared just come in and tell us that
Never said it
an
to
hour
me.
ago?
You must have misunderstood.
No, whoa.
Let's move on.
I want to fully hear
everything.
this out. Then
Yeah.
I want to hear you. Okay. So
To be clear, I never said that at all.
Okay,
Never
okay.
said it to
and
me.
I believe you. I'm going to tell you exactly this conversation, and I know Matt's going to say the same thing.
You got to feel like Suri. I feel like Suri is like the parent at the principal's office hearing what their child has done, like live. She's like, you, which I mean, she already knew that he lied about that, but now she's having to try to just do all this PR for Jared. Just a prelude for the PR that she'll have to do for Jared later, I guess. But wow, Jared getting called out on all of this stuff today just ends up leading to a Jared HOH. That is crazy. I did not, and maybe that's where my point of what I don't like that. In regards to Timo and your comments about like not being excited is that I really thought in my heart of hearts that we could get Jared out this week if like anybody else, or like the chances were just so high for it to happen based off of everyone just going against him today, that the fact that that's not going to happen anymore, I don't know, because Jared is just not only not fun to watch like play the game, he's also not good at the game, and so it's just like what. That double negative of just like, I don't want
Barrett,
to.
but he's a legend.
He's a legend. I get it. He's a legend. He's won 3 competitions now. I'm really happy for him. But the fact that he cannot play this game without his mother is insane.
Well, my mom made it to the end 3 times, or made it to the end almost 3 times. So that automatically makes me a legend. You know, that's how relationships work, right?
Yeah. I guess if you want to look at it that way.
Since Rachel won, that means Alyssa is basically a winner.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah. I think Alyssa won a couple of times, if I remember correctly. I think she's like she's our first 2-time winner, right?
Yeah.
No,
Your
that's
favorite
Polly.
person.
Polly.
Polly won twice.
Wow. That's the BB universe that I want to live in. The one where Paulie Calafiori won Big Brother twice.
I don't.
No, okay.
No,
Fine,
the
then.
Queen Nicole took him down. I'm kidding.
I mean, that's the only time I'll be okay with that, I guess. That's an okay statement.
I was just kidding. Victor took him down.
For the 3rd time. His 3rd time around, he finally got him.
And shocker, Zack has us talking about BB18 again.
Okay.
God, we always get back there, don't we? He tricked me. Okay.
I was talking about Nicole from BB2.
Whatever.
Right.
Let me see what notes I got for tonight's episode in particular, and then we can kind of move around the week, because I know we have to talk about this entire nomination thing, our thoughts about that, the way that they did nominations, and then other random things that I remember to actually talked about. Timo, I stop. You know who could have helped talk Jared out of targeting Cory? I can't imagine who.
Yeah.
Stop it. You can't roast me live on air like this. It's embarrassing. Okay. So tonight's episode, America kind of getting the ball rolling is what we talked about. Oh, Matt telling America about his power. That was an interesting thing that happened this week that we haven't talked about yet. Matt, I first reading that this happened, I was like, Matt, what are you gaining here? And then it turns out he gained a lot by telling America about his power. And in fact, part of him telling her that is what led to this whole vote flip to begin with, which is so weird, because you don't have that. Then you don't have America telling Cory about it. Cory doesn't learn that Suri also played in the competition. He doesn't know that she told Matt, besides or before at all telling him about it. And then that kind of gets everything rolling with the flip itself, and it leads us to tonight. So I thought that was an interesting thing to happen in the moment. At first, I was concerned for Matt, just as an information thing. I thought that it was already weird that he told so many people about his power, which I still think if he would have kept it hidden, that would have been fine. But I think he found the perfect group of people to kind of know this information. And at this point, it's kind of outdated enough to where it wouldn't necessarily bite Matt in any way. But what did y'all think about Matt revealing that info to America, of all people?
I mean, I didn't think it was going to hurt him too much. I was like, well, if anything, it'll build trust, and I mean, it did. It gave us interesting feeds, to say the least.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I was like, I kind of forgot that happened. It's kind of like a week that's like it's like lost footage,
Right.
because it didn't really matter, and I forgot about that power. But it was okay. It was a good game move for him a little bit, at least. They talk. You're playing the middle. No, Matt's playing the middle. He's playing the middle perfectly. Him and Nicole, like, iconic. But
Yeah, just thinking about this week here, like Matt and Mimi could easily just go back and like side with Jared for this week, and it really wouldn't have. I don't think it would be that hard for them to do it. Jared is going to be desperate to probably have any sort of connections this week. So Matt and Mimi getting on his side, I don't think he's going to argue with, just because like he got, I mean, put on the spot today. And got as close to the danger zone as he has gotten in this game so far. So the fact that if he had any inkling that someone is going to trust him in the coming weeks, besides his mother being in the game as well, I think he's gonna.
Wait, what?
What if I told you that there was a secret relationship in the house?
She should have done that. That would have been
Izzy. What if I told you that was not the only secret relationship in the house?
What?
I don't actually have anything to build upon that. But she didn't really give Izzy any info, mainly because I don't know if she had any info to give, because the only thing that she was actually giving other house guests was the secret relationship thing.
She's like, in the back of her head, dang, I didn't expect you to come out here tonight.
Yeah, do you think Julie really knew? Like, who's getting evicted? Who's doing it?
This isn't BB20, Julie, where it's like, I have no idea what's gonna happen.
Yeah. We don't get that satellite feed of her going, I'm just gonna tear up my notes. Because I don't know, man. She also said the balls dropped tonight. She did not say singular ball, and that shook me to my core when she said that. I will not be able to come back from that. And I just wanted to put that out there.
She needs to get a reboot. Or rebooted.
The reboot van, yeah.
Yeah.
Take Julie to the reboot van, everyone. The reboot verse is back. Okay.
Oh yeah. Along with what Julie was saying, what about the thoughts on the jury?
I was gonna get there, Zach. We have to get through the rest. There's like 5 things that happened in this eviction episode before we got to the jury announcement, which I know. Believe me, I see Trill, I see your question there, and Brett, we're going to talk about the way that they nominated people this week. So don't think I've just forgotten about all of these things that are happening over here. Okay. Yeah. So the rest of the eviction episode, we've got everything about the 7 deadly sins coming out. We get through all those segments. The flip is on. Izzy's evicted. In the voting, I have a couple of things to talk about, and this all happened in sequence, and then ended up with Izzy like pushing Cameron, or shoving Cameron, calling him a pig, and then calling Cory Pipsqueak, and so everything just happened all at once, and I didn't know how to note all of it down, so it's just one big giant note over here. So Mimi goes to vote and wants to let us all know that she is aware about how everyone's a liar, they're cowards, everything which way have you, as she voted to evict Izzy. And so I'll play that clip real quick. And Nick, I want to know your thoughts on this after I play it. I'm playing it for myself, and I'm not playing it for y'all. That is not good.
To all my family and friends, don't worry. I know that they're all snakes and liars and cowards.
How, Nick, as a casual, do you think that you're very confused? First of all, you're saying, who is this? Second of all, you're saying, why is she saying all of this to us right now?
Yes, and I want to know who the hell she's even talking about, because she's voting with the majority and was involved in everything that happened.
Yeah,
I think you said there's another vote that also threw you off. That one was the one that kind of tripped me up the most too, but
yeah, Zach, what are your thoughts on Mimi calling out all of the snakes and liars and cowards?
I think that she was mainly talking to her family because, like, they're like, if I'm a casual, I'm like, why is she flipping on Suri? She's like, that's like her second mother. And she may be saying, oh, don't worry, I don't trust anyone in this house. And I feel like that's what she's basically saying. And she's in a really good spot. Like, I think we may be seeing
Her go home next week.
stop. I think we may be seeing our winner because she's not involved in anything. Like, as far as like drama, she keeps a lot of her thoughts to herself, which is great for her because no one in this damn house, I'm looking at Jared, can keep a secret. She's she's so underrated right now. And that I feel like we don't get any confessionals from her hardly, and we don't really hear much from her. And like it's like that's the one blip we get like inside of her brain where it's like, oh no, don't worry, I don't trust anyone.
Yeah. I think Mimi is playing a great game of, and this is the positive and negative, I think, is that she doesn't have a side, and her negative is that she doesn't have a side that she has chosen.
But I feel like everyone trusts her.
In a way, I don't know. It's hard to tell because like we didn't get the full debrief of Mimi through all of this vote flip, so it's kind of hard to theorize like who she's really against here. I know Timo said probably like Suri, Izzy, and Jared. That's the most likely, of course. I mean, she's voting Izzy out right before she said all of that, so that would make the most sense to me. But it's just like, I don't know. She didn't have like too much of a reaction learning all of the info. She kind of just said, yeah, makes sense to me. Let's vote out Izzy. And I could not tell if that was genuinely like a, yeah, all of these people need to go on this other side, or if it was just like, I really want to get rid of Izzy. That's my main point.
I mean, she could be implementing the floater strategy to a T where it's like, oh, I need to get someone out that's good for me and something that won't give me a lot of backlash. And I might not be anyone's number one, but on the other hand, no one wants me out because her name hasn't come up in any conversations for nominations, which is good. It's better. It's better for people not to have you used to being on the block rather than not even be thought about at all.
Yeah. But I feel like that thought that you're having right now is something that someone like Suri will have in a couple of days of like, oh, you know who we never talk about? It's Mimi. Suddenly she's target number one. That seems to be the cycle that we are going through each week. It's just like, who's not being talked about at all? And let's talk about them the most now. Because that's how we were with like, I don't know. It felt like that's how we were with America for like a week or so. We're like, nobody, was she even in the game? And then suddenly we hear everyone talking about her and how she's not really doing anything.
Oh my gosh, this is Mimi's week.
Bowie Jane hasn't done a single thing yet. We talk about her all the time, but she still hasn't hit the block yet. So it's only a matter of time for her. I just feel like Mimi is one like Suri comment away from becoming target number one in the house as well.
But I feel like she's. Depending on how the conversations go with Suri, I feel like she's lost that power of getting her dogs and be like, sick 'em.
In a way, she could gain that back this week, though, just as easily.
Maybe. What if Jared's like, you know what, guys? There's something I need to tell you. There's a reason why I've been acting crazy. It's because my mom's in this house. And then Blue gives Felicia a hug.
Then Blue does it. That blows my mind that Izzy is out of this house, and the secret of Suri and Jared's relationship is still not it's still not a secret to everybody. Or I should say, there's still a person in the house that knows that is not Suri and Jared.
I told y'all she wasn't gonna say anything.
It is mind-boggling to me. Like the one thing that she can keep a secret. The one thing that she keeps in her head is that Suri and Jared are mother and son. Not at any other point did you think that maybe this would be necessary to another person. Okay. Yeah. So Mimi was one of the people that voted, and I wanted to make an alarming note about. The second one was Blue. We're back to her.
Yeah.
Because Blue went in there. some time learning about the flip today, and said that she happily votes to evict Izzy. And is like a completely different person in the diary room than what I feel like we see of Blue everywhere else. I was so lost. I just like, what does Blue think is going on in this game? Like because some days I watch Blue play and I'm like, I don't know what she knows. Like there's just something not clicking between me and Blue, and like in terms of how I talk about her game, because I don't really know what it is.
I don't think she knows
is
what
it anything?
she knows.
Yeah. Nick, is it anything? Is Blue playing a game?
No. I don't. It's very weird because I want to like Blue so bad, but I'm just like waiting for her to give me something. It doesn't take much to get my stand card, as we've seen before. I normally like the boring girls, quote unquote, that get into showmances.
Alyssa.
Blue, essentially. And I'm just like, I don't like, give me something to make me want to root for you other than showmancing Jared, because that I don't know, girl. So and then she does things like that, and it's like, what is happening? Since when did you not like Izzy? And like, I don't know, it's just very weird to me. I don't know what she's doing essentially. But I feel like she like has potential. There's just like I'm just like waiting for it to come out. Like I would love for a Blue HOH, but I feel like Jared would just kind of control what happens, and like I don't want that essentially.
That would be a fun train, because it would be Suri controlling Jared, who's controlling Blue.
Controlling Blue, right? Exactly. It would be interesting in that sense, but like I don't know. Someone was saying it in the chat earlier that like the showmances, in terms of like the two of them, it's like Jared's more like out there and vocal and like winning comps, and like Blue's kind of just there. And like America and Cory were kind of like the opposite, where like America was more like the name that's being talked about a lot and stuff like that, and Cory's kind of just there. But now they're both kind of being talked about a lot, obviously, especially with, you know, Jared winning it. It's not looking too great for them. But I don't know. I want to see like what, like I feel like Blue, like I said, has potential, and I want to see it. Like, and the second she starts to show it to me, maybe I'm gonna start to stand, honestly. But
I don't know.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
Showman's with Jared. It's hard for you to come back from that. It's
You'll
like,
probably be waiting a while, Nick.
Yeah,
that is true. Not if Jared gets booted, though. I mean, we do have the thing next week, so
true.
Oh yeah.
In his Big Brother history, it is more often than not, I root for the person who loses their showman's partner more once they get evicted.
Too.
Brendan.
Yeah, each way.
Jordan.
Like when Rachel got evicted, I liked Brendan way more. When Brendan got evicted, I loved Rachel way more. It worked better.
When Jeff got evicted, you loved Jordan way more.
I mean, I already like Jordan, so.
When Jessica got evicted, you both loved Cody so much.
Oh, that did make me think. You saying that does make me think. Do you think Cameron is going to sneak into the America's Favorite? Like, if he makes it like mid-jury, do you think he would sneak in to America's Favorite Player?
Oh my god, I didn't even think of that, but he probably would.
I could see Matt. I mean, honestly, I could see the top four just being who played in the invincibility power competition at this point, because two of them at least are going to make it to jury. I feel like Suri's got to make it by default in the top four.
Mm-hmm.
America's voting, I should say, not the actual game. And then I feel like Matt's got it to a degree. I could see Jag sneaking in there, and of course Cory. Cory.
I feel like, I feel like a lot of the casuals don't like Suri.
They don't, and it's like my aunt who got me into the show, she is a casual. She will follow updates a little bit. She'll be like, "Oh my god, did this person actually win the comp?" And I'll be like, "Yeah," but like other than that, she's like does not watch feeds, nothing like that. And she is not a fan of Jared or Suri, but she also doesn't like Cameron. She likes Matt like the most. Like she loves Matt. So I feel like I take whatever my aunt likes. I'm like, okay, that's what the casuals are thinking, because she's not watching feeds. So I do think that Matt is like the casual stan of the season, and like it kind of makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
like let's be real.
I would hate for Felicia not to sneak in there too. I just don't. I don't know. I feel like the casuals
God, I
have a lot
love
of pull
Felicia.
with a lot of those house guests, and Felicia
Mhm.
doesn't get a lot of that airtime. It's kind of the same thing with Izzy's. Like she did not get the kind of screen time on the episodes like we saw her on feeds, and the same thing with Felicia. I think It's just
Especially,
like,
especially since like I feel like even the producer or the editors knew like this may be Felicia's last week, so we need to pump her out for all she's got.
we need to make her pass out in the veto competition, and Zach's got to forget about it.
I can't.
Okay. We've went through tonight's episode pretty much. We talked about Blue. Let's talk about the jury now. Julie told us last week that we were going to get an announcement to the jury, or about the jury this week, I should say. And she announced tonight that we are going to go old school with our jury this year, and it's actually going to be a jury of 7 again instead of 9, like past season. So we have 2 more weeks until jury starts, which is crazy to me in a 100-day season. The longer season, but a much smaller jury, which I'm not complaining about. I think that's pretty cool. I'll play the clip of Julie announcing all of this, and then we will talk about it.
Let me be the first to congratulate all of you on surviving Humilla Week.
Okay.
Tell you that Humilla Week is now officially over. Usually, this is where I would also congratulate everyone left in the game for making it to at least the jury of 9 who would crown a winner of Big Brother come finale night. However, given that this is our 25th anniversary season, we're going old school. We used to have a jury of 7 voting for the winner of Big Brother, and that is exactly what we're doing this season.
All right. I'm going to leave it on Bowie Jane for a little bit. Nick, how do you feel about our shortened jury this year?
I don't like it. I want to say.
Okay,
Excuse
do tell.
me?
I think that it's kind of crazy that someone's gonna play the game for like over 50 days and not make the jury. I feel like that's a little crazy, and that also considering the cast was bigger than like our typical cast, because this had what
17?
17.
Yeah, I normally
18 once they get Derek
jury...
X in there finally.
Oh, right. The 18th house guest is still coming in.
Frankie Grande.
CT from the challenge. So I think it's kind of crazy that like for the season that's the longest, on top of with the most people in it, they're gonna make it a shorter jury. So I don't know. I'm like, I mean, it is what it is, but like I think it's kind of a dumb thing to do for a season like this, in my opinion.
I just know Paul's punching the air right now.
You still got those votes, Zach? You still got that one more vote that I need? I can't say anything. I got pulled. Nick pulled me.
You deserved it.
I did.
What do you think,
And
Zach?
I'd do it again.
You did, kind of.
I think it's going to be interesting. I'm glad I'm not on this season, because if I heard that news, I would be pissed. Because
can you imagine getting that news and then having to do a wall comp? I wouldn't even know.
I'm like, now I have to actually try.
Yeah.
And then, I mean,
That's
if
probably
you
why they all dropped after 40 minutes.
Yeah, because I mean, it seems like the jury every year is like their mini finish line almost. Like once they get there, it's like they can breathe again. And so imagine thinking that you're at the finish line, and then they're like, actually, it's about 2 more miles if you can just make it there real quick. And you're like, I can't do this anymore. Everyone drop off so Jerry could win. But that would feel rough to just get that dragged out from under you by Julie. Julie dropped the balls on them, some would say. Zach, finish your thoughts.
Just love that saying. I think that It all depends on who's the jury, though, because we have a double next week, and right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We do. That was our last announcement of the night. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have what, 1 week? So we have then after next week is after this week, and then that double will be in jury.
Yep. At this time next week, we will have our jury, or like starting officially.
So let's see. Maybe Cameron goes, and then what if Jared goes? Oh, that would be really good. The two comp beasts going out pre-jury.
That would open it up. It would be wide open at that point. I hate that we're calling Jared a comp piece now. Specifically just because we kept making fun of him. I know it's my fault. He kept getting last place. I thought it was a safe bet to be like, he's not very good at competitions, is he? Little did I know. He was just warming up, I guess. Amanda agrees with you, Nick. Huge cast, small jury makes no sense. Shy Boy says, I like the fact that the double is what determines the jury. Like, it puts an extra fight on that. Yeah, I think the stakes are going to be really high.
I agree.
I think in the past, when the double evictions have been once like jury started and those the first two jurors, I think that doesn't have as much like drama as they've wanted. So I really like this choice to do it going into jury, because it's like, not only are they, they're probably going to catch them off guard with this. I don't know. Big Brother superfans will be like, they do it more when jury starts. Hopefully they'll be like that, so they'll be caught off guard by it. But at the same time, we're at the point of the game where they should be expecting doubles every week. I do hope that they're somewhat blindsided by that, though, because that will just put an extra pep in the step when we're talking about it next week.
Yeah, there was only one unanimous 7 jury vote. Do y'all know who it is?
One unanimous 7 jury vote. When did the 9-person jury start officially?
It started in BB 15.
15. So 7-0. It was not 14. Was it Rachel? No, Rachel. No.
No, definitely not.
Because Portia got votes. I forgot about that. 12. Hayden? No.
Mm-mm.
Lane got votes in 12? I always forget that.
Lane got votes from Rachel.
Trail says Boogie. Is Boogie correct?
Nope.
Okay.
Was Dan?
Yep. Dan was the only one that got 7-0.
And
everyone else at least.
Who the hell's going to vote for Memphis? Like, let's be real.
Did Dan get how many votes did Dan get in 14 over against Ian? It was only
one.
A couple. Okay.
Danielle was the only one that voted for him.
That's so funny.
What a reverse.
Yeah, there's only June Song was 6-1. Boogie got 6-1. Adam got 6-1, and Ian got 6-1. The rest, everyone else at least got 2, and then the rest of them were like 4-3. A lot of 4-3s actually. Now that I think about it, Drew and Michael, Maggie and Yvette. Let's see. Hayden and Lane, Rachel and Portia. That'll be interesting.
Okay. That will, yeah. I also don't really get the idea of having a 7-person jury. I think that's really strange, but at the same time, it's like, I'm not going to hate on them for going like old school on something. It's really hard for me to be like, how dare you do a thing that Big Brother used to do but doesn't do
that we used to ask for whenever
whenever the seasons were at 100
that
days.
is true. Yeah.
So I don't know, but I do like the fact that we're getting a double eviction leading into it. I will admit that. So good job on that, CBS. I hope that'll be really fun, especially if we get still similar dynamics after this week that we have going into the HOH competition tonight. I don't have a lot of hopes on that, but the potential for like a Cameron going this week and then like Cory or America winning an HOH in a double eviction, just my God, that'll be peak television. Just to have another switch back and forth with all of this.
The last double we got was very entertaining, so hopefully this one is too.
Yeah,
It
we saw
was-
we saw the comp beast go out in the last double. So
Yeah, your boy.
rest in peace, Michael.
Yeah.
I remember
R.I.P.
that from last year. Keep getting
Wow.
on me for not remembering last season. I remember last season.
Do you?
It's hard to think.
Who won?
We all did.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Okay, we're
me
not going to
see.
get caught up on all these other seasons. We need to talk more about the beginning of the week now. We've taken an hour and 20 minutes to talk about the beginning of the week, but here we are. So Cameron wins HOH. We were here last week after we covered that competition where nobody was excited for Cameron's HOH, which I love that was one of the things that was pointed out to Cameron by America, is that nobody was happy when he won HOH. If only he saw when he won Veto the week before, because it was very similar reactions. But I thought that was a great eye-opening thing to tell Cameron. It's just like, you realize nobody wants you here. Izzy hates you more than anybody in the world, I think, right now.
Flashback.
Yeah. I hate that I can't hate him. And then Felicia laughing at her face. God. Okay. So Cam comes out hot in the DR on Sunday's episode. You have Bowie Jane crying because nobody told her about the vote at all. And then we got to see a lot of Sari and Felicia doing damage control, with Bowie Jane specifically saying, like, you're still in the bye-bye, bitches, you know? And Bowie's like, am I?
Oh my god.
I wanted to point out.
Not even.
I also wanted to point out, going back to the arguments on the feeds, whatever. What was it that said? I know that whenever Jared's like, who thinks that Cory's in the middle, and he's the only one that raised his hand, and then Bowie Jane clogging like Bowie Jane talking about how I was left out of the vote, and it's like, I'm in an alliance.
Yeah. Poor Bowie Jane. Yeah, her just like, I felt so bad for her, just like getting fed BS while they're still like, you're still in our alliance, even though we didn't tell you anything and definitely don't like you that much. It's just like, are you kidding me?
Or at all.
And then Felicia goes in there, it's like, you gotta stop, you gotta play the damn game. And Bowie's just like, why is this happening to me? I have done nothing to anyone.
I will say, I even texted you guys. I was like, I felt really bad for her. Like, it's the underdog, and plus just thinking about, like, I mean, I hate whenever I see people getting gaslit like that. It's like annoying, even though I understand it's a game, you have to do it. But on the other hand, it's like, you know, you could just tell her, like, it's not like it's not like she's gonna get power or anything, even though it'd be interesting if she did.
She's gonna get power at the worst possible time.
Yeah,
Just you
never
wait.
say that.
She's gonna be HOH.
Now she's gonna.
She could be HOH in the double.
Oh my god, can you imagine?
No, now she's on the kind of right track, so I feel like she would nominate like Jared and maybe like Sari.
I really, you're telling me to think like a week ahead, but in this season, that feels like years ahead. Just us talking about next.
Yeah, we need to talk about that too. This season, like I'm glad, I like it. Don't get me wrong. They're just thinking about this week. They're not really planning far ahead at all.
It's so hard to, when you don't even like, when you've had two blindsides in a row, depending on like where you're sitting, in terms of where you thought the vote was going to go, going into Thursday, and even, I mean, halfway, like just like flipping votes the entirety of the season so far. It's so hard to think ahead because they can't even, I think Taryn has said this a lot, it's just like they can't even get through the day. Like they can't get through the day without changing their minds 50 times. So how are we expecting them to ever think a week ahead, or God forbid, like the end of the game? That feels like it's never going to get there. November 9th will never be here, anyone. This season will never end as far as I'm concerned.
Well, yeah, because versus last week we would be like, oh, they're already thinking about next week, and then the year before with the 23, they're like, we had what? 21 was kind of a shit show, so we had 22 where they were already thinking, okay, who am I going to vote for, Cody or whoever's next to Cody? And then you had 3 where it's like, okay, we're thinking to the final 6, so which one of us is going to make it? Okay, boys are sticking together, so which one of us boys is going to be sitting next to who? And then you got 23, where it's like, I mean, it was towards the end game, it was more split, and then the whole Kyle thing happened, and it was very, very up in the air. But it was still, they were thinking far ahead too, a little, at least like a week ahead. And then when was the last? I guess like 21, but we don't really want to talk. 20 was the last, like real last season where they weren't really thinking far ahead. I mean, Tyler, like he was making his deals and stuff, but like it was so back and forth and everything like that. I feel like this year hopefully it is. Hopefully,
especially pre-jury with 20, it was just like, oh my god, what is going to happen on any given day? Once you got to jury, I think it mellowed out a lot. Especially once you had Casey winning everything that she ever got to play.
Yeah, and then you had Fessy nominating his own alliance. Yeah.
Also, when you get to that point as well. So, yeah, but I really love, the thing I do love about this season is that I really don't know where it's going to go. Even where the power dynamic of Sari, it's just like, it's not going to last. There's no way this can last. Like, it's crazy how long it did without people figuring out that Sari was the head of everything. How do you not just automatically think that?
Well, even whenever people knew about it, they didn't care. Like Blue and Jag, they were like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. Yeah. Blue and Jag have no excuses ever, and I have no hope for them ever in this season at this point. But yeah, I saw people talking about how Sari's gameplay after this vote flip started happening and everyone started putting the pieces together. Everyone was like, "Wow, Sari's game cap really is about 39 days, isn't it?" I thought it was really funny, which is not at all true. I mean, she's still going strong. But I thought that was funny that people pointed out that roughly the survivor length was the amount of time that it took for people to figure out that Sari was kind of controlling everything.
So she could have won.
Yeah, she could have easily won Survivor. Yeah, it would have been more like a day 32 thing for her not to win. Okay. But
that makes sense though. They're playing more like Survivor.
No, yeah, it's a total Survivor mindset.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Just anyone is an option at any given time, and we're gonna change our mind every 5 seconds. That is peak Survivor. Yeah,
it literally. Yeah, definitely.
And now Survivor is about to come on for Survivor, Buddy Games,
right.
Amazing Race. We're gonna be overstuffed.
Yeah, they waited until Buddy Games was over to give us the. No, they had Buddy feeds.
They had Buddy feeds. Oh my gosh,
they had Buddy feeds going. They had Buddy Games going while the feeds were still on. But the feeds did finally come back on. Actually,
they are on, and someone's crying.
Oh God, who's crying?
Me.
Blue.
Everyone.
America. Why is Blue crying?
The country.
Because apparently she's upset that she was the last one to find out the power that saved Jag or whatever was from something.
Oh,
that's what Twitter is
Girl,
telling me.
That was
see it. I can't hear it. So,
girl, that was like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even whenever the flip was happening, I didn't fully believe it because I was like, it wasn't until whenever America finally said like, I vote to evict Izzy. Whenever I was like, oh my God, it's actually happening because I can't trust these house guests worth a damn. So.
Yeah. Let me get through this episode real quick because there was a couple more things I wanted to talk about, including the nominations. But Felicia pissing Matt off because she kicked him out of the room so they could the bye bye bitches could talk was really funny to me. That Felicia just kept shooting herself in the foot when it came to anything this week. Then we got footage from like 2 weeks ago of Sari and Jared talking about Felicia and how Felicia came to Jared, exposing her in Sari's final 2, but she really wanted a final 2 with him. All old footage just to support the narrative of Felicia going on the block this week for the episode for all the casuals. And then we have all of that drama that like leads to their announcing that they're going to the bathroom via a megaphone in the bathroom, which is the perfect transition in Big Brother always, of like something really cool and dramatic and like good television, and then suddenly it's like, let's announce how stinky we were in the bathroom. It's like, God, we cannot get any momentum in this show.
No.
So
2 hours for
embarrassing.
what? Or was this still Sundays? I
That
don't
was
even remember. Like
Sundays.
That was
Yeah.
Sundays, yeah.
that episode and the Wednesday episode just like blurred together for me, just because they were both like,
Well,
I
yeah,
don't know.
because Wednesdays was like, oh, a 2-hour episode, and I got my expectations set up way too high because it was literally just, how do we get this kayak in the confessional? Oh, how is Josh Jamel cutout gonna watch Matt use the bathroom?
We're gonna watch Cameron and Izzy take 2,000 cups of dirt over to this pile, and we're gonna show you it in full, in real time.
Yeah, if I was
We're gonna get a 9-hour episode.
if I was Cameron, I would have. I mean, then again, they didn't know Izzy wasn't going to be here, but I would like have tried so not much because if it didn't affect him, and it was just Izzy, and she couldn't play in the veto,
That's torture right there. If you would have done that.
and like not only that, they didn't. I mean, I guess they edited oh gosh,
Wow.
Well, yeah. I guess they edited it out. There we go.
Buddy feeds, yeah.
That's explaining that, oh, if you have to pick your person, and if you don't do this, then you can't compete in the next week's veto. Because I feel like that would have changed a lot, at least for me. Not that it was a hard task by any means, but still.
Yeah. I mean, I am thankful for the punishments, just because I really loved watching Matt with Josh Duhamel. I thought that was great. I really did love the kayak because it gave us the chance to watch Jared just completely play the game in his own way. That's the nicest way I could put it. That wouldn't have happened if the kayak did not exist with Felicia and Sari attached to each other. But Cameron, in his point this week of saying that he calls like Sari the president, he calls Felicia the vice president, and then he calls Izzy the secretary of defense. But he's like, everybody knows you got to chip away at the at everything else to get to the head of the snake, to get to the president. I'm like, that is not what anyone says. No one says to get to the head of the snake, you got to chop off the bottom part of it first. He was just making excuses for making terrible nominations. But I just thought that was an infuriating point. It was like, Sari's the head of the snake, so you're gonna go for the everything else, the bottom of it. He made this weird like comment in Wednesday's episode about like wanting to chop off like the arms and legs and just watch it wiggle around. That was fucking crazy. I'm sorry. Like that's insane.
That's serial killer vibes if I've ever heard it. But I don't. In his mind, even in Big Brother speak by any means, I feel like no matter what, people are going to let the HOH know like who's gonna go home, at least. I can't think of one. Well, I mean, because the HOH makes the nominations. Like, I mean, you can, and there's the veto and everything like that. And then I feel like the HOH has at least some idea of who actually is going to go home.
Yeah.
And I don't know why Cameron didn't think, or I don't know why he thought, Jared was blindsided like me. I saw it in his face. Come on.
Yeah, that's another thing with Cameron is like he can get all the information, and he just like chooses what to believe, and if it's correct, he will reinforce that he thought of that first anyway. There's nothing that tricks old Cameron. He had a feeling that Red would get evicted. He had a feeling that maybe they were gonna go and evict Felicia this week instead, only after learning that was indeed the truth. And because his refusal to believe America on anything at the beginning of the week was so just frustrating to watch. Just like, no, what are you talking about? Jared's cool with me. There's no way. They're gonna. Why would you not evict Izzy? Oh, because they're working with Izzy. Oh, all these people are working together, and I didn't realize it. Yeah, I knew that. I should probably get to work though. I should probably try to stop sitting up here. Yeah, but yeah, Cameron as HOH is baffling to me, and watching Cameron as HOH in a pig costume is even more baffling. But Team Buddy Feeds won this week. I gotta say, Um,
Open this week.
I know we're just. I don't want to have to talk forever about this week when we have feeds to go watch. So I do want to ask y'all though, nominations, the way that we did them with the whole pie, hitting everyone in the face, Humiliverse style. Very like the Humiliverse version of the key wheel, I guess is a good way to put it. I know Brett was asking about it forever ago to talk about that, but did you enjoy that way of nominations, and did it lend well to a blindside nomination, or do you think doing the regular, I should say, recent way of doing nominations was the way to go for the blindside?
This was the perfect week for this to happen, in my opinion, just because of this specific reason. Like, if this was any other week, I'd be like, this is stupid. Like, who cares? Like, we all already know who's going to go on the block. But, like, because of this, it made, like, the people sitting there be like, oh, we don't know what's going on anymore. And, like, that was when it became good TV.
Yeah.
So, like, this was the perfect week for this, and it was obviously not plans like that, but yeah, any other week this would have been really stupid in my opinion, but because it was a Cameron HOH, it worked out very well.
Yes. What do you think, Zach?
I agree. At first I was like, what the hell are they doing? Like, and I feel like this is the closest thing we're gonna get to the key wheel. At first, whenever, because I didn't start becoming a real fan until BB, or I didn't start watching until BB 16, so I had no idea what the key wheel was. Okay, I was like 14, so like
I was like in 8th grade when I started watching. I don't know how old I was, but
yeah,
I was younger.
Well, yeah. Anyway, and then I started to watch old seasons, and I was like, oh, the key wheel actually is interesting. I hope they bring it back, and then they haven't. Surprise! Spoiler alert, they haven't. But I definitely enjoyed it. It was my lashes. That was like,
oh, that was good, and Felicia's tooth.
Oh yeah,
I was about to say I wasn't really on board.
The confidence that she had in taking out her tooth.
That was my turning point. It was the taking out of the tooth and then Izzy taking off her glasses. That really sold it for me. Because before that, I really was not thinking like this was a good idea. Like I thought it would have been kind of fun for him to turn the keys and it just be them two on there. But at the same time, doing it one by one, having Cameron be the one to do it to them, and also just the twist of Jag getting the pie to the face and Felicia putting her tooth back in her mouth, realizing that she was about to get nominated. I don't think there's going to be a lot of nomination ceremonies like that ever again, and I'm so glad it happened that way.
I would have, if I was HH, I would have said, and now you have pie on your face.
Sure. I'll give you that one. Other than that, Sunday's episode came and went. Or I should say cam and went. All right. Felicia opening up Wednesday's episode by saying, let's just cut to the chase. Cam is full of shit. was incredible.
She's so real.
Felicia going to the HOH room and trying to tell Cam why they switched the vote for Red to go, and Cameron just sitting there watching her and not responding. And then Felicia's the only reason that she gave to Cam for not telling him that they were voting out Red was because she didn't really think about it. Which is hilarious. That's an amazing reason not to tell someone something. Let's see. And then Izzy talking to Cam and saying, and when Cameron tells Izzy that she's not the target, she's just the pawn, which was a dumb thing to tell both of them, that they're the pawn. Like, they're going to talk to each other. Everyone talks to whatever. Izzy says, I hope you can see that that's hard for me to believe. Just all of that leading to Cameron and Izzy getting a punishment together was fantastic. Oh, Matt and Jag had a gross segment where they formed an alliance based on the Hitmen, and we got Hitmen segments. Ew.
Yeah, I was just like, for one, I'm like, Minutemen, like, that makes no sense. Like, oh, they call themselves the Hitmen. What should we call ourselves? I always hate those.
What is like what? you're a Minuteman in Big Brother. Like, what does that mean?
I feel like that's copyrighted by Disney Channel.
Yeah. I was
It
like,
probably is.
I was like, I always hate those segments whenever they put it in, especially whenever it's alliances that aren't gonna do much, like Spy Girls or I can't think of anything else.
Stop. Spy Girls was iconic. Leave them out of this, and stop talking about BB-18.
Black Widows.
the Millionaire Club or whatever for 22.
That was.
I don't remember that one.
That was Nicole and Ian.
Yeah.
Millionaire Club. Oh yeah.
Because they both already
both
won.
won.
I forgot that.
Millionaires.
Yeah,
Like
that infuriated me. You're taking me back to that weird era where Nicole pretended that she was sad that Ian was going.
But besides Spy Girls, I'm a mathematician. I use numbers to fight crime.
I'm the secret nerd.
You got us talking about it again, Zach. God,
he was saying it was iconic. I mean, what else?
Let him missed you into talking about Big Brother 18 again. You got to stop letting him do that.
Oh, I'm trying to think of anything else, like throwaway alliances that just like they make a name and it's like
the 5,000 of them that happened this season that like all came out today, and it was like this one's fake, that one's fake, that one's fake, this one's fake, like all of them.
Yeah,
so.
I was still floored that they were literally talking about that in front of Bowie Jane and just being like, oh no, we only made that to make this person feel good. We only made this one and then looped people in, and then people are making like a big hoopla about like, oh, I didn't start this just to say that. I was looped in. See, and that's the thing. There's a difference between being looped in and actually creating it. And I'm like,
yeah,
alliances.
They summarized how we feel about trying to follow this season in just that argument. They explained it to themselves why we're frustrated. I know Cory had the whole thing of like when he finally figured out that Cirie didn't trust him as much as he thought that she did. He was just like, I bet people have been frustrated watching the season and being like, this is happening. And we're not doing anything. And now they finally did something, and one of them is going to pay for it. That's Big Brother. I guess. Doesn't mean I'm going to be happy about it this week. If Felicia came out and won that walk up and said, Cameron, I'm getting you out of here, and Cory and America, you're going to be my pawns, I'd be like, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, your girl almost went home.
Yeah, almost did. It's okay. I was gonna be okay with it, even if she did go home, because we had a good week. We had a good week on the feeds, and if that's the sacrifice we have to make, we got to make it. Buddy feeds. Okay. We had a nice Izzy and Cirie moment that made me sad for tonight's episode, about Izzy not being confident and believing in herself, and Cirie kind of like giving her a pep talk. I really liked it. And it made me sad knowing that she was about to go home. But still a good segment nonetheless. And you got the veto comp. Matt, what are you doing? And then we have Cam unknowingly telling Jared to use the veto to get rid of his mom and saying Cirie is on an island. Which at first I was like, oh. And then he explained why he said that. And I was like, oh. You ruined it by explaining it.
I also want to say in that veto comp, I don't know if you have a name for it, like the Secret Santa veto comp, basically, or no, the Chinese Christmas or White Elephant Christmas or something. You know what I mean? Yeah. Where I don't understand for the people who unless you're at the end or like second to last, I can see why you wouldn't, like why you would go for the veto. But that first person or second person, like if they get like a $5,000 prize and then they're like, I'll trade this for the veto, I don't see why they just don't keep it. Because they know the veto is going to get stolen if they get out second or third. Like that's like a given.
I feel like that's happened before in past seasons and people have gotten shit for not taking it.
I know that happened to Rachel It happened to Rachel on BB12, I think. But I think she was more like, "Don't give me the money. Don't give me the money. Don't give me the money."
Is that the one that Kathy didn't apologize to her on?
Yeah, she's like, "I gave you money," and she's like, "I didn't want the money." Now they're gonna send me home.
Yes. I feel like that's happened before in another season though, where like the person didn't take it, and like a recent season too, because I remember arguing about it on the podcast with somebody, and like somebody didn't take it, and everyone in the house was like, why didn't she take the veto? Like, that's so dumb and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, because she literally was just going to get it taken from her the next round. Like, why does it matter?
Yeah, normally that would be the normal, I think, the okay thing to do. But then we have this weird veto where it's like the last 2 people that got out didn't get the veto. And it's like, what? What do we do? How?
Yeah.
Which Jag has the excuse of just like, it was going to, let me keep this. I think that's a valid thing. Like, any logical person would think, I'm going to take the money because why would I willingly go ahead and take the punishment? And I'm not going to get the veto anyway. Now people might think differently if they watch this season of like, I might as well, just in case someone does something dumb in the last round, it takes a punishment instead, which is the last thing that we all expect.
Yeah, and especially for he got voted out. He did get voted out, and he's like, "Do I want to take the veto and get more blood in my hands, or want to keep this $5,000 because these people already don't want me here.
Everyone already hates me. I've already been voted out once.
I've been nominated, and my own person that I'm closely aligned to says, "Go ahead, nominate yourself."
You can do it. Just go. Just go home. You gonna take that with you when you go home, Red? You gonna take that with you?
While we're on the topic of Blue,
I said Red just now for the record. I did not say anything about Blue.
Well, I was talking about Blue wanting Jag to get nominated, but
oh yes. What else do we have to say about Blue?
Her whining to Cameron was I hated
tears.
that so much. Like, who do you think you're gonna put up? And then he's like, well, there's different variables that have to go into it, but you know who I'm gonna put up. And she's like, well, you're gonna put up Jag, and the only person that can go up with Jag is me. And if Jag is taken down with the veto, then I'm not gonna have the votes to stay against anyone else. Don't put me up, please, Cameron. Please don't put me up.
At the end of this show, I'm gonna have such a compilation of you in so many different emotions. I've seen anger, I've seen sadness, and I've seen utter joy. You just need.
I don't know what is going on tonight with him. But
I don't know what's going on tonight with you either. But I think you need to. Can you please bring this energy every week? Because I don't know. I literally don't know what you're gonna do anymore. Like I used to think, okay, Zach, I could predict what his energy is what's gonna happen, and then you start doing random Jasmine impressions last year, and I'm like, maybe I don't know Zach as well as I thought I did. And now, just in this podcast, you have screamed and walked away. You have laughed hysterically for borderline no reason, and now you have a whined in a blue, not even a blue voice. That's not exactly how she sounds at all. But you have whined and what you picture as Blue's voice for the last minute and a half, and I don't know what to do with you anymore except just unleash you on the world every Thursday night.
I mean, that's how she sounded to me, because she was.
It was fake tears. You can make fun of those. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was definitely fake tears, and even if they weren't, it was still very much whining. It's like, girl, you're not going home. Like, I mean, I understand you don't want to go on the block, but still, like, I don't know.
That is what America's favorite player, Cody Nixon, would call victim noises.
Victim noises. Oh boy,
We remember that.
Yeah.
God, I got nothing else to say. I'm exhausted. So the emotions that Zach has felt that I alluded to are also the emotions that I have felt. I have just not let them be known, I guess, in the way that Zach has. But I am weirdly excited for this week, the mess that it's going to be, because it is going to be a mess, and it is also leading into a double eviction where everyone is going to be exhausted probably. And
yeah.
I'm very excited for it. Nick, what are you looking forward to this week?
Well, I do think that Cameron is gonna go based off of what I'm reading on Twitter. Apparently he like went into the room and apologized to Suri for losing a friend. He left and Suri went like this.
Yeah, I
so
saw Trail say that in the chat.
yeah. So I think she's gonna try to get Cameron out this week, which I'm hoping for. So
Well, he's gonna have to be backdoor though, is the thing.
He is. What I'm most excited for actually this week is to see Suri reintegrate herself with everybody, because she ain't going on the block this week, obviously. So she has a full 7 days to make sure she is not that boot during the double. And yeah, they don't know it's double, but Suri's a smart person, and we know that she catches on to things super duper quickly, as we've seen this week. So I think what I'm most excited for is to see how Suri fixes everything for herself this week.
That's a good point. She will have to do damage control in a way. I don't know who said. Oh, Troy also said hashtag damage control, which is, I mean, she probably doesn't have to do a crazy amount, but this is by far the most work she will have had to do in this game so far, because this is the first time her power structure has been kind of not dismantled, but definitely shot at. She's lost her Secretary of Defense. So we'll see how
hiring. Let's say that.
Yeah.
She has to rebound from that, and so we'll see how she does with everything. And I don't have any doubts that she is going to end this week in a much better position than she began.
Secretary of Secrets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I definitely agree with Nick. It's gonna be an interesting week, and something that I think actually is that I think that Suri is gonna put into Jared's ear that he shouldn't go after Cory, because I feel like, yeah, they're a duo, and yeah, Jared may not be the best fan of Cory, but I feel like Suri thinks that she still has a hold on Cory, and they can still use him. I may be overreading it, but I don't know. The way the conversation was going and the way that it was unfolding today, before the feeds cut, he had a very calm tone with Suri, and they were just talking. It felt like an actual conversation versus, Jared's comparison of him just yelling at him. And I feel like I feel like Cory definitely had reason to doubt Jared with the lie that he told. And if Suri was able to clean it up, and I feel like Cory can at least read it to where, okay, I can at least say, like, I definitely have full trust in Suri, and if Suri is able to swing him back a little bit, I think that he'll be integrated fine. America, on the other hand, I feel like if Cameron can't go, then America's right after, if he wins veto for something.
Yeah. That'll be another interesting thing to watch, is how is Jared going to be with Cory this week, and how much is he going to push for Cory potentially being a target? And I guess really how much was their relationship broken by that argument earlier, which I imagine probably fully gone now after all of that. So we'll see. I could still easily see Jared wanting to target America over Cory, just in case, like you said. We could see if Cory's they may think Cory is more moldable than he actually is, but I think he's pretty much done, even if he pretends to be with this side. I also think how Suri is going to act with Felicia is going to be interesting, because she was fully ready to send Felicia home. And so now she has to live in this house with Felicia still there. And Felicia more or less knows that Suri was ready to get rid of her over Izzy. So we'll see how Felicia feels about all of that. Not that I think that that's going to go anywhere this week. That may be more like a 2 weeks down the line thing, since Jared's in power this week. But another thing to keep an eye on. But yeah, I think Cameron's going to be the target. I think he's going to have to be a backdoor option, though, because you don't want him to play in veto. So who's going to go up as the pawns? Probably Cory and America. They seem pretty easy to me. I don't know what they're saying right now to each other on the feeds. I haven't really been looking, but
I can't hear. So,
and In my mind, that would make the most sense to me. But yeah, that's the week we're going into. Week 7, culminating in a double eviction. All right, we don't have to give full predictions. Let's just say who do we think are going to be the next 2 evicted house guests by the time we reconvene next week? That can be our prediction time. Because last week we predicted nominees and evictions, which I don't think any of us said Izzy was going to be the eviction last week. And I believe we also said some combination. I said Jag and Blue, which was the fake nomination. So I get like half points for that, I think. And then
Okay.
yeah. Did any of us say Izzy was going home last week though? I don't think any of us did.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right. So who are going to be the next 2 boats? Nick, you go first.
Cameron and Jared.
All right. I'm going to mark this down because I always forget the week after. Cameron and Jared. Okay.
Yeah.
Zach, who are your predictions? Who's going home?
Cameron
Anybody in chat wants, I'm going to type all of these out. So if anyone in chat wants to also get on this.
and Jared. I mean, that's really what I want to happen.
Okay.
Okay, copycat.
Yeah, it's exactly what he said. Okay. I am going to say, oh, I'm too scared. Cameron and Jared does sound right, Trell. I agree. But what I think is going to happen is it's going to be
America and
Stop! I was going to say America and
Don't even speak it.
See, this house is too divided for me to say someone like Bowie Jane or Mimi is going to go in the next 2.
Yeah, no way.
So I'm going to say America is this week.
and Jag. Isn't
I think Cameron gets himself saved. America, and
Jag.
No, I'm not going to say Jag just because you just said it. So I'm going to
Watch those actually be right. Oh my
dare I say we're going to lose a showman. So I'm going to say America and Cory.
No!
It's not what happens.
Take it back now.
First you make Jared HOH, now this.
I didn't do that.
You did
You
that
make
last-
Jared a comp beast too. Like
Jared's not gonna win at all. He's such a loser.
I didn't say that. I said he was really bad at competitions, which he was up until that point, and now it seems like
Yeah,
is
he
really
heard you.
good.
He was like, "Oh my gosh, Cameron's brother is just talking crap about me."
Okay. There's the predictions. Cameron and Jared from you 2, America and Cory both being gone next week for me.
I don't
Fun
want to live
time.
in that timeline.
I don't either, but that's just what I think.
It is the
I
BB
think-
multiverse.
Exactly. The Scaryverse double eviction.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Wonder what that
They
means.
said it's gonna end up. It sounded like a twist is gonna happen at the end.
A twist of sorts, maybe. But yeah, I don't know what a Scaryverse double eviction means exactly, other than just
What if that
decorate-
person
have
doesn't
some-
end up? What if the person who gets evicted and then the person who it gets evicted in a double compete in a battle back?
No, I don't want that. No, please. They already had saved somebody pre-jury. Like, we're not doing this again.
We're still in pre-jury, so
That's what I mean. No, we're not saving nothing. No, send them both home. Bye.
what if it is Cory in America?
Then we could do a battle back.
Exactly. What's more scary than someone coming in that you just evicted?
A Bowie Jane HOH.
Honestly, I'm here for it. 'Cause
Yeah.
She would. I can see right now. Now we are not evicting Cory.
That was not Australian, but okay.
Not-
What was
not
it?
at all.
What was it?
I
Not Australian.
I don't really
No,
know. Yeah.
no, we are not evicting. I don't know. I was watching Gary.
Under pressure, it's always hard. I know.
Oh
No.
no. Oh no. Cameron's
funny.
gone.
All right, that's a sign that we need to stop. I will say though, in BB22, I did predict the triple eviction exactly how it went.
Well,
Just
you
based
could-
on the
you could
fact
predict-
that was what I
we
didn't
could've
want.
You
We
could have
could have
predicted
predicted the
whole...
winner at the beginning. That's not saying much.
Yeah, true. It's just in my right mind, I didn't think that they would ever evict David over Nicole, but you know, that's not the world we lived in then, I guess. It was a strange time to be alive.
How dare you besmirch Nicole?
David over Nicole?
He wasn't giving anything.
All right. Why don't I say something about America or Cory being horrible so they can win? I know, that's exactly what...
They're the worst.
That's pretty much what Shy
Worst
Boy said. Now,
romance ever.
Shy Boy
Oh!
said, now Barrett, say that me and Suri are really bad at winning the game.
We didn't talk about the showmance. Their antics, their kiss.
Oh, well, you know what? Some things you don't have time for, and it's Cory and America's kissing under the covers. I do love the showmances, though. It's a great showmance. Don't get me wrong. So many other things happened.
We stand showmances.
Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for enduring Big Brother 25 with us. We will be back next week to cover the live double eviction, the Scaryverse double eviction, I should say. And in between those times, if you want to follow any of us on Twitter, I am at Spicy Barrett. Zach is at the Zach Perez. Nick is at the Nick City. All of those links are in the description below as well. You can join our Facebook group. You can find us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts if you like just listening to us instead. If you want to listen to Zach scream over and over again in an audio format rather than waste your data on video, then that's a great place to go to. If you want to hear Zach laugh as well, or just whine, I think listening audio only would be a great place for you as well. Vice versa. If you only listen to us, we also are live on YouTube after the evictions. If you would like to come join in the chat. And speaking of chat, thank you all for being here tonight. We can't do this without you ever, especially when I am struggling just from keeping up with the week of Big Brother. And so, yeah, that's about it. Crazy week we have ahead. And I can't wait to recap it next week when we have America and Cory as the last two pre-jurors of the season. Just kidding. Final two. America and Cory, final two. I'm putting it out there. We'll be back then. Nick, anything else you'd like to say before we part?
We love America.
The country or the person?
The person.
That's the right answer. Zach, anything else you want to say?
I think not.
Still didn't get there. Still British.
Yeah.
Perception is reality. All reality. Perception is reality. Our reality.
You are exhausting. Trumpets? Bye, everyone.